Good morning. Oh, we have sunshine. Thank the Lord. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to sit here because I've done my back in this morning. Dear, oh dear, getting older isn't good, is it? Well, it is good because the alternative's not good. But yeah, I was bending down doing Peter's lunchbox. He takes a big cool box with him, fishing. And I normally put it up on a little step stool, and I don't know why I didn't. I just bent down to it, and that was my back. Anyway, I've had a hot shower, and I'm okay. So we get on with this. You don't want to hear about me. I missed so much last week. I just couldn't get back here. I missed Halloween. I was going to do some spooky stories, wasn't I? That's happened in my life. I was going to do... Suzanne's baby, she did a knitted week, so I'm going to put Annie into this knitted outfit. I know I'm late, knitted week's been and gone, but there you go, I'm going to do it today. I've got loads of knitted things to fit Annie, but she can only wear one thing at a time. If you don't know, give fingers, that's it. Annie is the Annie Scott by Angela Lewis. She's a partial silicone, which means she's got silicone head, silicone limbs, and a doe suede body like a reborn doll. If you can see me, as I say, I just got out the shower and my hair is wet, so. What have you been doing? Have you been up to anything? Yeah? I haven't. We've had horrendous weather down here. On the coast, we have had awful weather. We have, well, excuse me, I thought we got rid of all the storms, but they were back in abundance. Yeah, the town flooded again and again. Even as far as, where were we last? Was it Saturday? We're Monday now, Saturday, just gone. My friend, who lives a couple of roads away from me now, I've told you she moved close to me, she was out with her husband, and at the bottom of my road was totally flooded. And she sent me a photo, and it was deep. It was deep. Yeah, I didn't go out that day. By yesterday, it had gone. I don't know whether they pumped it out or what they did, but it wasn't there yesterday. Come on then, there we go. Yeah, what else have I been doing? Yeah, as I say, I missed coming to tell you spooky stories. I got a cup of coffee so I can spend a little bit of time with you today. Other news, I've just put my microphone on, which I charged up last week, and it's not working. It just won't even turn on. So I do not know what's wrong with that. I will check it again later. But yeah, I don't know when I got it, so yeah, I don't know. All right, pop it over on this side. Thank you to all your nice comments. Thank you to all my new subscribers. If you subscribe to me on my last couple of videos, you probably will surprised to see a doll now. But as I said the other day, if you caught that video, my channel is about reborn and silicone dolls, collecting, and other bits and pieces thrown in. So you never know really what you're going to see. Yeah. I hope I got that on the right. Yeah, I did have it on the right way round. Where am I going to put that? Oh, I got a coat hanger here. Yeah, so I did. Oh, did you see my video with my rotisserie chicken the other day? Do you know that was the first time I'd done a rotisserie chicken in my air fryer or anywhere else, come to that, and it was so nice. Really was nice. And Peter really liked it, which is a bonus because, I mean, he doesn't always like my cooking. Well, yeah, he's all right. Very nice. And I will be doing it again. The only thing I couldn't do was truss the chicken up. I had some which is string, and I thought, oh, it's not very big, it'd be fine. And of course it wasn't fine because the legs were skew with, so I had to tie bits of this butcher's string round it, but it wasn't trussed up as it should have been. But it was okay. I mean, it was fine. But yeah, she's going into this. It's, who made it? Let me have a look. It's a Sarah Louise. And it's got this lovely collar, which is like a corduroy with flower. I don't know what you obviously can see her, so there we are. And it's got cable knits down the front. It's got little pearl buttons. Well, little pearls, they're not buttons, they're little pearly things. Little buttons there, and ribbons, little bows and pearls on the pockets. Yeah. So, spooky stories. Do you want to hear a spooky story? Yeah? Where shall I start? Loads of things have happened to me, seeing as I've worked in very old hospitals. Things have happened. But, yeah, I tell you, when I had Ben, now, if you've been on my channel a long time, you know I had a dog. I had a big black Labrador called Ben, who sadly left us 4 years ago, and yeah. But in my early videos, you might see him pop up occasionally, because he was nosy. Anyway, I hadn't had Ben long, and we were living in, not here, we was living in a house then, and it had a big built-in larder in the kitchen. Do you know what larder is? Pantry larder? Yeah, floor to floor, ceiling to floor cupboard, and with like a big shelf in it, like a marble shelf for keeping things cold, and then it had all floor space, and it had a when you go in this cupboard, it had a little window to the outside wall. When I was a child, that we would have had. When I was a child, we didn't have fridges. We didn't have a fridge, and all our food would have been kept in the larder. Anyway, so when we moved into the house, I used to keep, obviously I had fridges then, so that was, all my tin stuff was in there, tin foods, and on the floor was dog food and cat food and different bits and pieces. Anyway, I was in this cupboard one day, and I was kneeling down in getting things out of this cupboard. And this dog was at the side of me, looking to see what I was doing, as dogs do. And I went, get your nose out, as you do, like that. Just put my hand back like that. Not hitting, but put my hand back. Yeah, get your nose out, I went. I stood up, turned around that way to face, you know, the dog was on this side. And there was a big window, kitchen window behind me. And as I turned round, Ben was at the bottom of the garden. And I thought, what? And the back door was closed. And a cold chill went down my back. Now, I went in to see Peter, who was in the other room. I said, I've seen a ghost. He went, don't be stupid. And I said, I swear blind, there was a dog next to me. And he said, no, yeah, your imagination, it must have been Ben. I said, it wasn't. I said, the door's closed. He could not have got out anyway. Even if the door was opened, he would have had to shot right down the bottom of it. We had a big long garden. But no, the door was closed. And I swear blind to this day, I saw a black dog next to me. Now, years ago, I did have another black dog, but it wasn't in that house. So whether he paid me a visit, I do not know. I like to think he did, but who knows? Yeah. So that was my ghost that I know I saw. was a black doggy. Oh look, doesn't that look cute? She's going to go into these padders with little rabbits on, and then their mother care and their flowery inside. Excuse me. Yeah. Now, my stepdaughter, when she moved into her house, which is the house she's still living in now, her little girl was only young, a baby. She couldn't even walk. Yeah, no, she couldn't walk then. She was baby. She used to sit playing, and they got a long hallway, and the lounge is on one side. Go in the front door, through a little bit of hallway, and there's a door here with the lounge, and you've got stairs, and it goes through to the kitchen. And my granddaughter, as I say, she was only tiny. She used to play peep-o with an imaginary friend that she could see in the hall. She used to keep looking behind the door jamb, you know, the door frame, and playing peep-o with this imaginary friend. Now, my stepdaughter didn't think anything about that really, and until one day she was sitting in the lounge on the sofa. The little girl was in the hallway playing with a ball. Now all she could see her sitting there. The door was here, her chair was here, and she could see her sitting in the hallway there. She was sitting on the floor playing with toys. And she had this ball, and she rolled it up the hallway, and then the ball rolled back to her. Spooky, eh? Yeah. The ball rolled back to her. Now, it couldn't have hit anything because it was a straight run to the kitchen, and it came back in a straight line. And with that, my stepdaughter contacted a church who came round and done a blessing on the house. And yeah, so that was that. And she's had no more trouble since. She's felt, whether she still feels it or not, I don't know, because she hasn't spoken about it for quite a long time. But yeah, she did. It did freak her out, as it would, I suppose, anybody. And as I say, loads of things have happened to me because I've worked in really old hospitals. So whether you believe in ghosts or not, I don't know. Well, I do. I honestly think there's something, because obviously I've seen some things. But yeah. This is baby powder smell. It's a dog scent, would you believe? Spray on your dogs to make them smell nice. I only put it on her clothes because of her silicone. I don't want to damage her silicone. I should have brushed her. Yeah, well, I should have powdered her with the brush while she was undressed, but I didn't. She doesn't need it, really. No. Oh, one of the hospitals I worked in. Well, they were, apart from the last one I worked in, that was quite a newish hospital, but still things happen there. But I worked in a very old hospital, and then I left because I had such horrible babies, you see. My babies screamed for my first baby never slept. Josie never slept. She used to sleep for 2 hours a night for the first 5 years. So I gave up work. I did go back to work after having her, but I couldn't cope. I had to give up work. And when I returned to work, I'd got a second baby then, who was, how old was she? 4, 3? Oh, probably 3, I don't know. I used to work at weekends so that Peter could have them, because I always done nights. Always worked nights when I was nursing. and I used to do a Saturday night. I'd done some bank work, so I used to phone up. Well, if you did bank work, you phoned up and told them what nights you could work, and they told you what wards and what nights they had available. So when I went back to work, was this really old hospital called St Helens, and it was closing down gradually to go up to the new hospital that had been built. And it was an old workhouse. It was an old workhouse. If you don't know what a workhouse is, give it a Google in Victorian times and whatever. We had the workhouses, so it was an old workhouse. And when I went to work there was only one ward left open. No, I lie. There was 2 wards at first. Then it got down to 1 ward. So I had to walk all the way through this old hospital, past all these wards that were closed down, and it was so spooky, and because it was upstairs, so you had to walk up the stairs to this hospital, this ward that was left open. Now one day they were short of staff as usual. Nothing changes, does it, with hospitals? And there was just, they was all it was elderly people, so it was like a glorified nursing home really, because they couldn't go anywhere else. They was all geriatric people. They were really, really old, and that sounds awful, doesn't it? I've got nothing against elderly people before you say anything. They were all elderly people, and we were just caring for them really. We wasn't actually nursing them as such, even though some of them were bedbound and what have you. You know, we were looking after these people. And there was no qualified nurse on. That's what I was trying to get at. It was just me and this other lady, this other nurse. Auxiliaries, healthcare assistants. We were auxiliaries then, we later became healthcare assistants. There was just the 2 of us, which was fine in this whole hospital. Yeah, hang on. Yeah. Now this other lady I'd worked with previous, and she was really spooked. She'd worked there for donkey's years, but she would never, I mean, because there was just the 2 of us on, we couldn't even go off the ward really. But when there was 3 of us, we used to walk down to the canteen. Now she wouldn't walk down the canteen on her own because she had to go through the whole hospital, across the car park, into this separate building, no one around, nobody about at all, and find the canteen. They used to leave some sandwiches out for us. And she, this one day, she'd gone for a break. Now, she'd gone for a break on the ward across from me that was empty. It was empty. It was a day room really. The ward bit was closed and there was just this little office. She'd gone and had her break in, and next to a day room. To have her sleep. We used to have a half-hour sleep in our break. So off she went. Now, all my patients were in their bed. Nobody moved. There were the old type wards, the Nightingale wards, so there were big wards you could see if anyone was out of bed or whatever. And there was just me up the end. Or at the beginning of the ward. It wasn't up the end of the ward, it was the beginning of the ward. And she come running back from her break. She went, "Oh my God," she said, "is everybody in their beds?" I went, "Yeah, nobody's moved." You know, I put Mrs. So-and-so on a commode, Mrs. So-and-so, you know, got her that, and it was all ladies. I said, "Nobody else has moved, they're all asleep." And she went, "They can't be, they can't be." So a quick check, yeah, everybody was asleep. She said, "Oh my God," she said, "I was asleep." And she said, this lady shook my shoulder and said to me, she just didn't speak, she shook her shoulder and just, she woke up and she was staring at this woman who just turned around and left. And she swore blind that happened to her, and nobody had left. There was nobody there. The whole hospital, we were the only ones in the whole hospital. So, yeah, spooky, eh? Spooky. And, yeah, she didn't believe me that nobody got out of bed, but nobody had moved. And if they had moved, they would have had walking sticks, a mobilator or whatever. They would have had something, because they weren't able. Most of them weren't able. They'd had strokes and all sorts, and they weren't able to walk. Yeah. And then when I left there, when that finally closed down, I worked there for for a few months before it finally closed. And then I went to work up at the new hospital that had opened. And, well, I'd done other hospitals before because I was doing the bank, so I did go to the next town and things, and then I went up to there. And nothing much happened to me until I got a permanent post up there. And it was 2 wards. We used to work together across both wards at night. It just had double doors. You open the double doors and it became one. Now, we used to have one nurse used to be over that side because that was day surgery, and we were on this side. There was 3 of us on this side because it was surgical and it was quite busy. And we used to have our break over on the day side. There was a room over there. It was like a big day room where people used to come in and have day surgery and go. There was the ward, while we needed a night nurse, they didn't always get home. They didn't always, a lot of them had to stay overnight or stay in a couple of days after surgery. And the day room for the day surgery, that's where we used to have our break. That is the most creepiest place out of all the hospitals I worked in. And it was a fairly new hospital, time I worked up there. It wasn't a nice atmosphere in that room. It just wasn't. And things, you used to wake up, and it used to always be, if you went on your break at 2 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and you couldn't move. You felt like somebody was strangling you. And it happened to every single person that had their break in that room. And when it first opened, the night sisters used to come down and have their breaks there. And then after a week or so, they refused to come back. So it was good because they used to do their rounds, but they wouldn't come down for their break in there anymore because this used to happen. It happened to everybody. And so in the end, there was only me and one friend that would have their breaks in that room. Nobody else would go in there at all. And yeah, strange. It was really strange. But me and my friend found out, if you didn't put your bed in that corner or make a bed up in that corner, then we used to have those reclining chairs. You put the 2 together and have a sleep. But if you was in that corner, you was in trouble. You always had that horrible dream or whatever it was. I swear blind, you wake up and you couldn't move. But if you was anywhere else, you heard noises. Yeah, really strange. Really strange things. But you didn't have that, only if you went in one corner. And there was a girl, a nurse, an agency nurse, come on one day. Now she'd come from quite a distance and to work for the night. So she didn't know the hospital. And she was over there, and I went over. I said, "Oh, we go in here. I'll make a bed up. You can go and lay down for half an hour for your break." I said, "No, we're not busy." I said, "It's not busy. Take an hour, because we used to only have one break." And so she had a break. I went and called her, and she come out, and I said, "Did you manage to sleep?" She said, "Oh my God," she said, "that room is so creepy." She said it was a day room. It was just a plain room. It was a new build. And she said, "I don't know what it is, She said, but that room is, she said, there's something really odd about that room. Yeah, and that's just a few things. I could go on telling you other things, but I won't. So, because I missed Halloween and I missed Knitted Week, you got both in one. Right, I'm going to go. Whatever you're doing for the rest of the week, I hope you're having fun, and I hope you've got sunshine wherever you are. And we need it, don't we, to dry up a bit of this wetness that's all around everywhere. So, I don't know when I'm going to get back, because I'm not sure when Peter's fishing this week. He doesn't work, he's retired. So I'll try and get back as soon as I can. Hopefully I can download this. It's been taking so long to download videos lately. And I'll be back with you later in the week. I did think about doing some cooking videos. You know the old books I did show you once before, my mum's old cookery books? Yeah, I might do a bit of baking out of one of them one day. What do you reckon? Should we do a few of those sometime? I'll have to have a think about that one. Make sure I've got some ingredients and things ready and what have you. And oh, did you want to see my diamond painting before you go? What I finished the other day. Now I have to come round so I know what you can see. Here we are. Isn't that lovely? Noel. And it's been sitting on my windowsill. I've started one of those coasters. I haven't done much because my back plays up every time I sit there. So I haven't done a lot at all. But I might get a bit more done today. Right, now there's Annie and all dressed for winter. I'll see you soon. You take care. Oh, 27 minutes. Oh my goodness. I do waffle. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.